What up, Fight World? It's your boy Ego, and I'm back with some more boxing. I'm back with another rant, man. It's been a little while, so I have to get this off my chest, man. And I hate to have it come to this because some people, some of the babies and the emo boxing fans, they're going to think I'm just trying to tear somebody down. That's not what I do on my channel. You know what I'm saying? I wish these guys the best and success. And if I have the opportunity to work with them at some point during this journey, I'm all for it. But I'm a believer of truth. I speak my thoughts and opinions. And it's not about bashing somebody or tearing someone down. I'm just giving you my honest opinion. Now, I want to talk about Chris Algieri. And the rumor is that he is a possible candidate to fight Amir Khan. I don't really fancy that particular fight. I would easily pick Amir Khan to beat Chris Algieri. Now, this is the rant. I don't understand. Anytime Chris Algieri's name comes up, it's like you got certain people talking about him as if he's this boxing messiah, like he's done something in the sport of boxing. Again, I have nothing against Chris Algieri. However, I am a realist. And honestly, he's decent, but he hasn't when I hear people talk and read the comments they leave, they're talking like he's just this Lomachenko rigging down his division where he's just killing and he just went up against the better Pacquiao and lost to a great fighter. I don't see that. I don't understand where these people are coming up with Chris Algieri saying, "Oh, that's a good fight for Amir Khan." Based on what? Like, my whole thing is I'm cut from a different cloth, I can tell, than a lot of people. I've been following boxing for some time. And if you follow boxing for a while, then that means you've seen people come and go. You've seen people like Jermaine Taylor. When Jermaine Taylor first came out, he was supposed to be that dude. He was the truth. And that's one name out of a hat where you've seen a fighter and they showed all the promise. Kelly Pavlik was supposed to be that dude. And then, you know what I mean, got in Youngstown and got in trouble outside of boxing and things happen. And it doesn't happen how people anticipated it to happen. So that being said, for me, I have to see a fighter prove their worth. Guys like Mayweather, guys like Pacquiao, guys like Miguel Cotto, they have some tenure in the boxing world. So I've seen the ups and downs. I've seen them struggle with certain things or have a injury or a cut and deal with it. You know what I'm saying? So I can assess them a lot clearer than somebody like a Chris Algieri. And from what I have seen, I don't see why people rate him so high. Like, what are you rating him based off? Again, the kid has heart. He's into fitness and he has his degree. He sounds very smart, very humble and educated. It looks like he's taking his career serious. He has a nice work ethic. But this is not kindergarten. This is the fight game. This is a hurt business, man. I don't care about people's like feelings in terms of like me speaking my honest thoughts, and then people want you to baby certain topics like, oh, you got to say something nice because you said something mean about Chris Algieri. I'm not saying anything mean. I'm giving you my honest opinion. And for me, I don't see every single time I hear Chris Algieri come up, like people speak on him like he's accomplished a lot more than he has. So I want to break it down a little bit in this video. Amir Khan versus Chris Algieri. Reason I don't really like the fight is Amir Khan is a superior boxer, much more experienced. I don't know all the stats off the top of my head, who's taller, who has a longer reach, but I don't really see what Chris Algieri, especially coming off of a embarrassing loss to Manny Pacquiao, being let out the cage and getting knocked down 6 times. Okay, some of them weren't full-fledged knockdowns, but either way, he did nothing against Pacquiao and easily lost, right? And he talked all this like, oh, I'm the guy to beat Pacquiao, et cetera, et cetera. So I don't like probably where his head is at. You know what I mean? Now you're going to go up against another marquee name like Amir Khan. It's not really a good look. No tune-up. Usually when guys step up in class and then they get knocked down by aka losing, then they take a softer touch opponent. And that's what people should do. Get your confidence back, work out the kinks in your camp or whatever, and with your style, and then keep it pushing, and then move towards a world title contention again or whatever, right? But when I hear people talk about Chris Algieri, they're talking like he's this boxing purist. And the thing about me is I'm very consistent, and people can hate me or what I have to say, but I always support where I'm coming from, and I'm very consistent. I'm an Aries. I'm very headstrong. I'm very stubborn. So the thing that changes my stubbornness is when in fact, I'm not a hater. You know what I'm saying? So if they prove me wrong, then I'm like, okay, cool. If you could show me and prove me your point, then I'll listen to it and see if I can see where you're coming from. And it can't be no wild shit. Like, you have to physically show me and break it down scientifically what you're saying. And I felt this way about Chris Algieri. I made these videos. I said Chris Algieri is gonna get fucked up by Pacquiao. I said Chris Algieri will lose 7 reasons. Both of the videos had close to 100K or more views, so they were well watched and stuff like that. I was absolutely right. Chris Algieri got annihilated versus Pacquiao, just like I said before the fight. I told you 7 reasons he's gonna lose. I told you he's getting fucked up by Pacquiao. I told you those things even after the fight. I was saying I read comments, they were comparing him to Mayweather and saying Pacquiao will have success or do this because Pacquiao ran through Chris Algieri. Mayweather and Algieri don't even fight alike. There's not really much that they have in common. So I felt this way for a while, but Chris Algieri's name is circulating recently. So I'm seeing a lot of comments. Before this Amir Khan situation, people were talking about Chris Algieri possibly facing Terence Crawford. Now, for a first fight at 140, I didn't have a problem with Algieri versus Terence Crawford. But because if you remember, Crawford was moving up and Chris Algieri had the belt, and fighting Pacquiao, he got stripped of the belt because, I don't know, I guess he took too long to defend or whatever, and they took it from him. So I thought that was fair in that situation. But to go up to welterweight and fight Amir Khan, or fight Amir Khan at a catchweight of 144, 145, stuff like that, it doesn't really make sense, and I don't get any level of excitement from that particular matchup. Again, Khan is a superior boxer. I want to see Khan against a boxer puncher, an aggressive mauler. Those are the styles that have troubled him in the past. And for Chris Algieri, again, I just don't. People act like he's this masterclass boxer. Based on what? He had a very tough time with Ruslan Provodnikov. Got floored in the first round and worked. Some people, and that was a split decision. You know what I mean? That wasn't, to me. This is just my opinion. I think Timothy Bradley boxed better versus Ruslan Provodnikov with a concussion, and he was devastatingly hurt in the first 2 rounds. Had a concussion. And every round that he didn't get knocked down, he boxed better than Chris Algieri did. And if you remember the Timothy Bradley-Ruslan Provodnikov fight, Bradley looked like he was actually, and neither Algieri or Bradley are known for power, right? And if you remember the Bradley-Provodnikov fight, it looked like Bradley, his shots had more effect on Ruslan Provodnikov. It looked like he was actually hurting him a bit. At the very least, Provodnikov's face was getting cut up and it was red and swelling and stuff like that. When Chris Algieri fought him and narrowly won, if you even think he won, and when I did my post-fight, I said Ruslan won. Off of the eye test and no scoring and stuff, I did my post-fight video. I had Ruslan winning. I know it was close, but I mean, either way, I'm not here to argue that old-ass fight. But the bottom line is, to me, I think Timothy Bradley with a concussion, and I don't even know how he made it through that fight. When he did box and when he was boxing, I thought he did a better job than Chris Algieri. Chris Algieri was just jabbing. He wasn't really putting nothing behind the punches. Either that or he has no type of power. So it did nothing to Ruslan Provodnikov. So I'm not understanding this whole Chris Algieri. Like, people, yeah, I'll pick Algieri to beat Terence Crawford. Based on what? Chris Algieri, he had a very tough fight with Ruslan Provodnikov, a guy that's pretty one-dimensional but can crack. He got the shit kicked out of him after being let out of the cage versus Pacquiao, dropped 6 times or whatever it was, 4, whatever you want to call it. He did nothing. And see, this is the other thing with Chris Algieri. And I'm not just trying to go in on him. I'm really being honest and really critiquing it. So if he watches this video or whatever, maybe he can learn and gain or take this constructive criticism into consideration. The thing that I notice, a problem I notice with Chris Algieri is this. He burns and wastes a lot of energy. Now, luckily, he's a nutritionist, so he's in good shape. So I guess he has energy to burn. But what I mean by that is he moves and burns a lot of energy that he doesn't need to. I don't know if that's a bad habit that he picked up during kickboxing or whatever. But if you look at pure masterclass boxers like Rigondeaux, people like Mayweather that we know, Lomachenko, when they move, everything seems fluid, and there's a reason they are moving. They're moving to avoid a shot. then they'll be in the pocket. It's like the transition is so smooth. With Chris Algieri, when he was fighting Pacquiao, if you look at it, he was just like kind of doing this Sugar Ray Leonard Ali shuffle with his legs, throwing no punches and burning a lot of unnecessary energy. You know what I'm saying? Like I understand avoiding shots and not want to get caught early or something like that, but he just wastes energy. There's no other way to put it. Waste energy. It's a waste of energy to move around aimlessly, and there's no real reason. Like I said, watch the pure boxing purists. When they move, there's a purpose. Like when Floyd's moving towards the ropes versus Guerrero, he in his mind has a game plan as why he's doing that. When I watch Chris Algieri, people are like amazed by his footwork. I'm not amazed. Like I don't know, man. Maybe I just don't see it the same as y'all. But people are like acting like he has great footwork. He doesn't. His footwork don't look great. Look at Pacquiao's footwork, and then look at Algieri's footwork. Look at Mayweather's footwork and Rigondeaux's footwork, and then tell me Algieri has great footwork. You know what I'm saying? I don't see it at all. I think, like I said, he burns energy, wastes energy. His offense it's like it wasn't seamless. It was like I'm on the D, defense, 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 through no offense. And that's where people get it twisted. They look at Mayweather and guys like that and think, oh, he's the defensive master. That's what the media tells you. Mayweather has offense as well. Mayweather counterpunches. He'll make you pay for lunging in or reaching and throwing a punch out of position. Mayweather does those things. Chris Algieri really didn't do that. If you rushed in, you probably wouldn't have to pay as much with a guy like Chris Algieri. So I don't really understand this why people are rating Chris Algieri, especially after you're no longer undefeated. That can take something mentally. So for me, I'd rather see Chris Algieri go back down. You know what I mean? Fight the Victor Postol, stay at 140, fight guys like that, and see where you're at and see if you can get a title again. But I really don't. I struggle very, very bad to understand where people are coming when they rate Chris Algieri as if he's this masterclass, masterful boxer. You know what I'm saying? I just don't see it. So I personally don't want to see Amir Khan versus Chris Algieri. Let me know what you guys think. Where do you rate Chris Algieri? Are you going to let him out the cage? Drop me a comment. Let me know what you guys think. Make sure you like my video as always. Hate, comment, and subscribe. Till next video, it's Ego signing off.